teams in the country who have not lost a set this year, joining Florida Gulf Coast, Auburn, and Memphis. We have our first home tournament of the season this weekend, hosting Seattle, Southeast Louisiana, and UCSC. First match against Southeast Louisiana is on Friday at 12:30. Night match against Seattle at 6:30. Saturday UCSD at 1. The first match against Southeast Louisiana is a turning 2-pack, so if you buy a ticket to the first match, you will get a free ticket to the night match. It is take a kid to a game match, so you can take a kid to a match day. So if you buy an adult ticket, kid gets it free. And then on Saturday, free admission for anyone who wants to come prior to the New Mexico State game. So we'll start off with a statement, and then we'll take some questions.
Awesome. As always, thank you guys for being here and for helping to share our story. Exciting to come off of 2 back-to-back road trips and feel like, hey, we're getting better, and that's the theme. We're chasing 1%. We talk to the team about that every day. We're chasing 1% gains as volleyball players, as people, and as students, and we're chasing that 1%. And we talked to the team early before we even got started. About what are our dreams and what's on our dream board. And one of the things this team has said they want to do is to be playing volleyball November 25th and 26th at UNLV in the Mountain West Conference Tournament. And so none of that dream board had anything to do with starting perfect or hey, not dropping a set or not losing a match. It had to do with, are we preparing every single day for the end goal? And the end goal is to be playing volleyball at UNLV in late November. So while we're thrilled at the results, we know that we are not even close to done, and we have not arrived at anything. In fact, we have a lot more we want to do, and there's a lot more areas we want to grow, and that's where we're spending our time, focusing on all the things that we need to shore up and the details we need to solidify before we go play better and better teams that are coming. And we got 3 good teams coming this weekend, and we finish off non-conference next week with NAU, who's a number 2 team in the Big Sky. They won the Big Sky 2 years ago, so we're excited to go play. We're not looking past any teams this weekend, but we're excited for the way this non-conference segment wraps up with better and better teams. So, yeah.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention, Elizabeth Woods was named Mountain West Freshman of the Week, so another award. Go ahead.
The numbers against your opponents, when you talk about kills, digs, assists, are just so astronomically higher than, it's really not even close. What do you think it is that's really separating your team from everybody else?
Yeah, great question. I think when you start to really dive deeper into stats, first you kind of got to look at the big picture, and the big picture is our first contact. So our ability to serve tough and knock our opponents off the net. And then our ability to pass well and to keep our team in system. And so the more we knock our opponents off the net, the more free balls, the more down balls, the more shots we're going to get at us, and the more opportunities we're going to get to convert. So we're going to kind of slowly but surely just increase the gap of points over teams with our ability to kind of dominate the first contact. And the interesting piece about that is there's when you start looking at trouble play situations, so you look at a tough first pass or an out-of-system first pass or transition dig that's not in range of a setter having all 3 options. What you quickly see is that we're out hitting our opponents by 3 times their numbers. They're negative 0.26. We're hitting like 160 on that. So we're doing an exceptional job when things are really, really bad. And volleyball can get really ugly really fast. And that's where we're doing, I think, right now, a nice job holding it together and putting a lot of stress back on our opponents. So thank you for that question.
Go ahead, Van.
Could you just talk about the tournament and how competitive this tournament's going to be that you're going to host?
Yeah. So we start off with Southeast Louisiana. In 2019, Southeast Louisiana won 26 games. They're a Division I team. They're going to win games. They've got some really nice players. They had an All-American outside hitter, and so we start off with those guys. We're breaking down their film right now. And again, any team that's won over 20 games in Division I volleyball, I don't care what conference you're in, you can play. Then we go with Seattle. Seattle has 3 transfers, 2 Power 5 transfers. They have some legit talent on their roster, and we're watching those guys just as hard as we'd watch anybody else that we were going to scout. And then UC San Diego, transitioning from Division II to Division I this year, and as a Division II team, I coached there. That's where I started my coaching career, as an assistant coach at UC San Diego. So I have nothing but respect for that team and what they're doing as far as transitioning from high-level Division II conference to Division I Big West, which is a great conference. So I think the opponents each week, the way that we built out our schedule, are going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. And so I think this is one more step in that direction.
Looking forward to the San Diego game?
I am, yeah. Listen, anytime we can host the Tritons, and we're going to go back there next year, it's an exciting time for me. It gives me goosebumps. It's just it's kind of a homecoming of sorts, just to go see a team that I've spent a lot of time with. So.
Go ahead, Lee.
Coach, when you talk about your record and that kind of thing, did this catch you by surprise at all?
I'll tell you, when you have a team that's fighting every single day, they don't know what they can do, and as a coach, hey, I can keep pushing these guys, and they keep giving and giving and giving. I don't know if it's a surprise as much as, hey, they're meeting the demands of the moment, and they're meeting the demands of practice. They're meeting the demands of matches. There's moments in matches where I thought, oh boy, this team 2 years ago, this could have been a breaking point for us. Instead, we come back and we come right back at our opponents. And that, to me, is not a surprise as much as, hey, this is what this team has been working towards the last 2.5 years. And it's been really exciting to see our three primary, I think Callie Wolf, Kate Biasu, Yeshua Guerca, Melissa, Walden, some of these guys that are seeing a significant amount of time, like they are just committed to pushing back on teams. We're going to get pushed. We got to take some jabs and we got to counterpunch it and come right back at you. And it's nice to see us doing that in practice because I think that's where it's going to start. And then when we see it in matches, it's really not a surprise to them. And I know it's a surprise to some other people, but for us, it's, hey, this is what we're doing every day.
Any other questions?
Thanks again, you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right, next up. As Heather comes up, obviously, pretty exciting 2-1 win on Sunday. Emily Johnson was the defensive player of the week. I almost messed with you and said you want me to put her in for offensive too.
She could have been.
She
Yeah.
could have. Games this week are both in Phoenix on Thursday night at 6:30 Mountain Time against Northern Arizona, but it's at Grand Canyon Stadium. I do not have correct stream information for that. I'm trying to see if it will be streamed, if at all. Saturday's match is at 9 p.m. Mountain. It is on ESPN Plus through the WAC Digital Network. Saturday night will be a piece of cake because it's going to be 102 at kickoff. On Thursday, the expected temperature is 106. So hydration breaks for the ladies at the 22:30 mark.
Should have a hydration break every 5 minutes with that kind of heat. Yeah. First of all, thank you guys for being here. It's a huge, enormous weekend for our program, certainly for our team, especially after a start that I don't think any of us have been pleased with. To be able to beat a Pac-12 at any time is a big deal, and be able to beat Washington, who was preseason, I think, 14th in the nation, Sweet 16 team last year. It's just massive. So I think our team is very proud of the effort and happy to get a win, especially when we didn't feel like we played our best against Oregon State. So fun to see a young team turn around and respond in training and respond on the field and get a win. So big weekend ahead. 2 really good games. GCU is playing outstanding right now, and NAU is always a quality opponent, and we'll go play on the road, which is always a little bit more difficult, but I think we're excited after this weekend. We feel like we fixed a few things and to continue to build and hopefully play better soccer. Hi, man.
Hey, how you doing, Heather?
Good.
What do you do to get them ready for that kind of heat?
They're in the sauna right now. No, I'm kidding. We opened up the year in Las Vegas, and then we've only had one night game here. So we've actually been playing quite a bit in the heat, but there's really nothing you can do. I mean, it's hydration. It's making sure that they rest. It's, trying to make sure that we have any kind of electrolyte supplement on the bench to, keep them going as long as they can. And then you hope that depth is a big part of it. You hope that the next player off the bench can come in and bring energy when you feel tired. So not a lot you can do, but it certainly is another test. And I think that's what we want in our preseason, is to kind of see who we are and be able to fight through some of those things.
You're telling me that Pedialyte will be the homie this week.
Pedialyte's our best friend, yeah. I should take stock in Pedialyte.
Coach, what does a win do like that where you're not just for that game, but moving forward as you get into conference and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I believe we can be great here. I mean, I believe New Mexico should be great, and I think the reality of collegiate sports is that Power Fives have different advantages and different things that happen for them. So if you want to play those teams, you have to be willing to take a loss like we took to Oregon State and learn from it and get better. and then hopefully apply those lessons. But I believe wholeheartedly in our team, and I think we can be great, and that's the goal. Not to win conference championships, but to advance far in the NCAA tournament and represent New Mexico at the highest level. So I think the confidence of knowing that we can do that, and you need a little bit of luck and you need some things to go your way, but the self-belief that we're capable of being great, it matters. So I'm hopeful that the players got that message. I think they did. They should have, because they played exceptionally.
In the couple games that I've been there, you know, Emily Johnson has just made some incredible saves. To have a player like that in net, and then on the other side of the ball, she's assisting in the game-winning goal too. Just is that, as a coach, you know, having someone like that, nice, you know, for your team?
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, no, I mean, the crazy part about our goalkeeping situation is truthfully, Emily's any given day not our best, and she would agree with me if she was standing right here. We have Malia Vanisi and Allie Davis, who are both absolutely outstanding. So I think because of that atmosphere, like every day they're being pushed and they work and they get after it. And Michaela Supper, our goalkeeping coach, puts them in these environments where they're competing and everything matters. And it's not just, I mean, your goalkeeper is your first line of attack. It's not just somebody who keeps the ball out of the net. So I'm on Emily a lot about her distribution. We watch it a lot in the office. And she made a mistake that led to the first goal. And to see a 6-year player respond and then assist the game-winning goal, that's exactly what you want. Is you take mistakes and you turn them into successes, and Emily does that consistently. So her leadership and her work ethic and her ability and who she is off the field is even more exceptional than what she does on the field. So very proud to be able to coach her.
Anything else?
Off the hook, easy today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot, Coach.
Look at that, you win and score 59 seconds left. But it's just softballs the whole time.
Perfect. We'll just keep doing that. No problem. All right. Have a good day. Thank you guys.
back to your cameras. Get back to your cameras. As you get back to our cameras, I will send out information on the TV stuff. It is on Stadium, but it's on the watchstadium.com this week. I have all that information. And they're sending me some newer stuff, so I'll make sure everyone has that so you can do satellite or whatever you need to do. One fun note about this game is it is going to be, I don't think you know this, we have a third radio station coming in. So UNM's broadcasting, New Mexico State's broadcasting, and this game will be broadcast back in Navajo to the Navajo Nation.
That's cool.
And so it'll be a free thing. It's going to be really neat to have them here for this. It's obviously a big game for the state. And so we Play Fly was great, letting them come in and broadcast it back to Navajo Nation in their native Navajo tongue. It's going to be really neat.
Is there anything linear? Has it been picked up linear, or is it only online?
That I'm still getting all the information on that.
Cool. Ready?
Go.
Awesome. It's a great week. First, from Houston Baptist, Monday or Friday morning, I got an email from a professor on campus, which I appreciate. We talk to our kids all the time about know better, do better. And if you know better, be better. And we talk about all situations, from social justice to how they respect women to you name it. And we don't leave anything untalked. And in my press conference on Thursday after the game, I made a comment about having a team down and stepping on their throat. Well, in 2021, you probably should know better than to use that term. From what happened to George Floyd, and it's an old sports adage that I used and didn't mean any offense to anybody, but I obviously caused offense to somebody, and I apologize for that, because it's not the right adage to use anymore, and that's okay. I mean, when you have somebody down, we need to continue to play hard and finish the game the right way, and when you get a weakness in an opponent, you take advantage of it. And I used the wrong term. And so for people that I offended, I apologize greatly. And I talked to our team about that stuff too, because I think it's important. And we have, not only is social media a powerful voice, but we have a powerful voice from our position. So I'm sorry for offending the people I did. I'm taking responsibility for that and learn from it and know better, do better. But let's get on to the rivalry week. This is a great rivalry. It's one of the longest in the country. Started in 1894, 110 meetings. We have a superior record in this rivalry right now at 72, 33, and 5. We've hosted them 61 times here in the city of Albuquerque, and we hold an advantage of 43, 15, and 5. All that means nothing. What that means is that gives them all the more incentive to come up here ready to play. And I promise you they're going to come up here ready to play, ready to beat the Lobos, and that's the way it should be. And they'll have a great contingency. I hope we have 35,000 people in the stands, the majority of them wearing cherry and silver. This emotionally for the beginning of the game will be unbelievable. There'll be the biggest crowd's been around for a long time in any sporting event in the state of New Mexico. We talk to our kids all the time, the difference between playing with emotion and playing with passion. You play with emotion, you usually make mistakes. When you react off of emotion, you usually make mistakes. When you play passionate or you do something passionate, it's because you prepared for it. So that's been the big emphasis. Now, we need to get better as a football team, and I think you see your biggest improvement between weeks 1 and weeks 2. You definitely saw that in the New Mexico State team that went on to San Diego State on Saturday. I thought for the first half of that game, they were the more physical team. Obviously, they were up 10-0, and they were playing well, and then San Diego State scored on about 4 plays in the second half, and it became a completely different game. Now, they lost their best wide receiver that was playing in that game. He broke his arm. He's out for the year. Jacinto, that hurts because he was a big-time grad transfer from Missouri for them and a good player. And I hope his surgery goes well and that he gets hopefully he gets another year or he gets back if he can before the end of the year, because that's really sad. The game of football it's a mean game. It's an aggressive game, and you play it the right way. It breaks my heart when something like that happens. And he's a tough guy because he had dislocated his elbow, what it looked like, hyperextended earlier in the game, and came back in and broke his arm later. So you got to give him a lot of credit. They had a young man, the Garcia Castañeda kid, who was out for COVID last week. He's on the depth chart this week. I mean, everybody, there's some COVID going around the country. I mean, you saw Georgia has 3 or 4 guys out for this game. So we'll continue to test. They'll continue to test, and hopefully he's healthy. We want their good players to play because it makes it for a better contest. Jonah Johnson, their quarterback, played really well. I mean, he did a great job getting the ball out of his hand, being precise with where he was going with it. And then they've got some kids on defense. They were playing really, really hard. And if you watch the UTEP game, that game, the score was lopsided. New Mexico State had 2 plays in the first half that if they go the other way, an offensive lineman downfield that I still don't see on film, and then a catch in the end zone that was really, really close. I mean, it could have gone either way. It's 20-17 at halftime instead of 20-3 in a completely different ball game. And it was their first game. I mean, they played 2 spring games that were a majority of their team wasn't there. Coach Martin and I are pretty good friends. I mean, we had a really good conversation in May, and what they had to go through and what UConn had to go through not playing in the fall is really, really hard for a football program. So the competitive nature that they've had the first 2 weeks and how well they played on Saturday is impressive. I mean, he's done a great job down there. I think the 2017 team might be the best coaching job in America, what Coach Martin did in 2017. With all that being said, I don't like those guys. I don't like New Mexico State. I don't. Played here, grew up here in Albuquerque, and that's just what it is. It's who I am. And, I mean, a rivalry. I can't wait till Saturday night. I really can't. I'm excited about the opportunity to fill up our stadium and play and have those guys come up here. I mean, in the history of the series, 110 meetings, last year was the first year that we hadn't played since 1945, and the only reason we didn't play in 45, 44, and 43 was because of World War II. And then outside of that, I mean, since 1905. So we played in 1894, and then the next game wasn't until 1905. From 1905 until now, we've only missed them 7 times total, and 3 of them were for a war and 1 for COVID. And then in 1918, they didn't have a team, and in 1910, we didn't field a team. So, I mean, outside of that, I mean, you play this game every year, so there's a lot of excitement. I mean, until 1959, they were New Mexico A&M. Well, now they're New Mexico State, and you play this game every year. It's something to look forward to. I mean, between our football team and our basketball teams, both men and women, I mean, we have the upper hand in that. And then the Rio Grande rivalry for all of our sports. I mean, anytime anybody plays that school, it's a big deal around here. Big deal. And I want our community to take offense to it too. It's a big deal when they try and come up here and take. I mean, we're the flagship university in this state now, so there's a lot of pride that goes into it. So I'm excited about this week. Go ahead, Van.
When you look at this year's team, their defense, like they might have some teeth.
You know, significantly different from the spring. Up front, they did a great job against San Diego State. I thought they were really, really physical. I mean, for the first half, they dominated the line of scrimmage. And that's a good San Diego State team now. That might be the biggest offensive line in our entire Mountain West Conference. And I thought they did a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage. They've made vast improvement both up front and in the secondary from the spring. I mean, we only had the 2 games on them in the spring, and they're playing with a different roster now in the fall. And those guys have made significant gains. I mean, they've done a really good job making themselves a competitive football team. And they've really improved on the defense side of the ball from their 2 games in the spring. And really from 2019. They're better on defense right now than they were in 2019. Go ahead, Bethany.
After the game, Terry said that he thought he played a good game, that he had a lot to work on for game 2. In your opinion, what are those things that he needed to work on after that game? And what has he been, focusing on in practice leading up to this game?
Really, the whole offense across the board, execution and assignments in the second half. Early on in the game, I mean, we're running the ball for 5 and 6 yards every time we hand it off on those first 2 drives. Now they were shorter fields. We had a lot of momentum, a lot of emotion, more so than passion, and we were executing at a high level. I mean, he started out 13 for 13. I mean, I don't care. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Now, his play-action throws were unbelievable. I thought in the second half they were getting a little bit more pressure up front, which makes it harder on the quarterback to get through his progression and see his reads. He missed a couple throws. He missed a couple throws of throwing to guys that were open. That'll improve this week. I mean, you should improve across the board execution-wise. So, I mean, he didn't do anything or we didn't call anything that we hadn't practiced. And so I thought his demeanor on the sideline was outstanding. I mean, there's some really good leadership values there. And then, I mean, he'll keep improving week after week, both schematically with what he's comfortable with, and then just playing ball. I mean, last year was different for everybody. I mean, one, he wasn't here. He was playing at a different offense at a different school. But two, just the whole, I mean, having fans in the stands, you have no idea how different that was than what we went through last year. I mean, it's exciting. But I think he'll continue to steadily improve. I mean, not bad for a first game here. I mean, we can play better across the board, and so can he.
Yeah, who's the professor though?
No comment there.
And the offense, is description limited, or do you want to focus on the run game in the second half?
I mean, we didn't limit anything. We threw a quarterback throwback the very first play of the game. It was about being physical, and I thought for the first quarter and a half, we were the more physical team. I don't think we were after that. And I take offense to that, and I challenged our guys because, I mean, we talk about all the stuff about wanting to be the most physical team in this league, toughest team in this league, and that wasn't it. It wasn't good enough to take on that mantra. So they've been challenged, and they have a great pride about themselves, and we're trying to establish that. So I think you'll see a really physical, aggressive football team this Saturday.
Coach, you spoke with passion about what this rivalry means to you, but you had a lot of guys from out of state. So is that on you, or is that on the guys from New Mexico to let them know this is a big deal?
I think both. I think there's the fact that we have the 14 super seniors back. So what makes it really hard is how many junior college kids we've had in this program over the last few years. Before I got here, that was the main focus for recruiting. We're going a different route. We're going to recruit freshmen and build a program for longevity. The problem with junior college guys and rivalries is they're not here very long. They don't get an understanding of what it is to be from New Mexico. Well, all those guys on our team, all the guys on our team now have been here for 3 years, some of them 4 as junior college kids, which is really unheard of. And then we've got the 2 freshman classes that we brought in that's all they hear. And all they've heard since the game ended on Friday night or Thursday night was about this game. And I talk about it all the time. I think it's very important that they understand the past, the present, and the future of our program. And so all the numbers that I spout out, the 110 meetings, the 72 victories that we've had over them, the 43 victories we've had here, I mean, I want that to resonate in their minds because we're the flagship university. This is our state. This might be bulletin board material. That's fine. This is a rivalry. They shouldn't need to read something on a board to figure out how important this game is. And I mean, here I'll tell you how important it is to me. And this might offend some people, and that's okay too. In 1992, we hosted the NCAA West Regional, and New Mexico State got to play up here in the pit against UCLA. I was 16 years old. Had tickets up in the mezzanine with my father. And I'm coming to the game excited to see UCLA whoop on them. Well, there was probably about 17,000 people in there that were feeling the other way. That New Mexico State, that we were cheering for New Mexico State. That bothered me. This is our building. This is our home. We don't cheer for those guys. My dad was cheering for him. I wanted to kick him a couple times. I'm like, man, what are you doing? This is our place. That's how much this is to me. I mean, I don't want them to win. I don't. And okay, they're from New Mexico. Great. Guess what? We're the flagship university in this place. And it's something to me. It's important to me. And that's just who I am, and I'm not changing.
Eric said that when you guys go there next year, you refuse to stay in Los Angeles.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I mean, I'll get a bunch of flack from it, but the city of Albuquerque is the greatest city in this state. I mean, Mexico's. Go ahead, Henry.
Coach, your gut feeling before kickoff Thursday night, your gut feeling what your team as you left the field to come into your locker room.
My gut feeling, let's cover this kickoff and not let anything bad happen. The whole exciting thing, that, I mean, when they ran out, I mean, Chase Christians made a great video before our team ran out there. It was really cool. It does the things I talk about. It talks about the past, the present, and the future of our program. I mean, you see Stoney Case throwing, and one of our current guys, C.J. Boone, catches the ball. I mean, that's cool stuff. All that stuff is really exciting. All the stuff in warm-up is really exciting. But then when we're out there on the sideline, it's time to kick off, all that goes out the window. I mean, it's the old Mike Tyson adage. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face, and then you better figure it out. After the game, I don't know what the right word is. I mean, it was exciting. It was relief, I guess, more so. Because I wanted to win that game so bad for our kids, for Albuquerque, for everything they've gone through. And that's when you're relieved to win games, that's not a good deal. But when you expect to win games, the majority of you win, you're relieved that you won. When we went on our 3-year, 33-game winning roll at our previous school, I think 3 or 4 of those were enjoyable. The rest of them were relief because we were the better team. And when you become the better team and you expect to win every time, and that's where we're headed, winning becomes a relief. And so I was relieved that we won because we were the better team on Thursday night. We should have won that game. We should have won it by more. That's going to be the expectation around here. The expectation for every program in this athletic department is to win every single time. I mean, what a great job by Heather and them on Sunday. Beating Washington 2-1, scoring 2 goals in the last 10 minutes. I mean, what a play from Emily Johnson to a true freshman. I mean, that's awesome. But that's the expectation. They were expected to win. Other people from outside may not expect us to win, but that's the culture around here. I mean, it's no different. This is a sad character that I have. I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. I absolutely hate losing at anything. To my 9-year-old daughter, hate it. That's just who I am. And that's the attitude that I want from our kids. Because when you hate losing, that means you have put everything passionately into it. And when you lose, it hurts. It should hurt like nothing else. Well, we've got a little work to do on that and the positive, when I got in the locker room, it was an exciting locker room. I think they were relieved to win because we expected to win, but we didn't play as good as we should have or we thought we were going to. Well, as hard as they work, they need to enjoy every single time they win. So we changed up the celebration a little bit and had some fun in there. But the expectation around here is to win. We have a long way to go before we're going to win every single game. But if you don't expect to win, you got no chance from the beginning.
Schedule same as last week. You guys stay hotel night before?
We do. Stay in a hotel so that, 1, it's a routine. 2, we give them a good night's sleep. We feed them well. We hydrate them well. We make sure that their focus is on the game. We have meetings. We have walkthroughs. We come over here on the Saturday morning and do a walkthrough to get them out of the hotel, get their blood flowing, hydrate them. If they need treatment, we do it in our facility. And then we prepare for the game. I think it's really important. Go ahead, Van.
As far as the conference goes, what do you think about the first week of games, the non-conference games for Mountain West?
I think the Mountain West is a great league, and I thought we had some good things and some bad things. Obviously, Boise got up 21-0, and then Central Florida came back on them and ended up winning in the end. Utah State, I had to stay up till 12:40 to watch the end of that one, and that was a great finish for them. They've, Blake Anderson, who's a good buddy of mine, we coached here together, has done a great job turning over that roster, the amount of transfer kids they've taken and the buy-in that they've got. He's done a great job now. He's a really good coach. Schematically, they were really good. They've improved a lot on defense. And to go into Pullman and win a game, that's outstanding. We had a couple teams in our league struggle against FCS opponents. Montana State went into Wyoming, and Wyoming had to score at the last minute to win a game. But that shows you, 1, Montana State's a really good football team, but 2, Wyoming has mental toughness to stay in the game and find a way to win. Because all it is winning. And at the end of the year, nobody's going to care that game was 19-16 at all. They're going to care that Wyoming found a way to win. At the end of the year, no one's going to care that this game is 27-17, but the Lobos found a way to win. It was closer than 27-17. They had the ball down a touchdown, and we get a fumble down here off a speed option play. Or they're gonna take a chance to drive down there and score, possibly go for 2, and now we're having the same conversation that they're having in UNLV and in Colorado State, where they lost to those games. I think we had a two-way go in our league. Some guys were high, some guys were low. But I think we've got a really strong league that, I mean, the best team in our league, whoever it is that finishes up top is going to have a chance to be in the group of 5 conversation for a New Year's 6-day bowl. So, I mean, I can't express how good our league is. I mean, Mountain West Conference is a great league. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. What up, Robert?
Can I ask you?
Sure.
First, to follow up on the Mountain West, what happened to Washington? Is that instructive? I mean, is that a take that you'll grab and file away and keep and show to your guys about? Because you just said we had some struggle. Some got over, like Wyoming, and so it's still a win, and in the end, it'll be okay. But it's not okay for Washington.
It's not. I guess it depends on who you ask. Bobby Houck, the head coach there at Washington, who was the head coach at UNLV, who was on our staff at San Diego State for 4 years, was one of my best friends. I was yelling at that TV pretty hard. That was really, really cool for them. And Montana's a good football team now. I mean, we have Montana State on the schedule, I think, in 2024. That's a good football team. Now, they're on our schedule for a reason because I want them to play good football teams, and we can pay them to come down here, and it'll be a great deal, and we'll have a good football team that'll help us get better. Should Washington lose to Montana? No, never. But it just goes to show you that everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. Everybody puts their shoulder pads on the same way and straps them up the same way, and we all wear helmets. And on any given Saturday, any football team can beat anybody. I promise you, in 2007, nobody thought Appalachian State was going to walk into Michigan and beat the 5th-ranked team in the country. Now, Appalachian State the year before had won the national championship or played for the national championship, so they weren't a slouch. But I guarantee you nobody thought they were going to go in there and beat Michigan. Guess what? Every team we play put their pants on the same way we do, shoulder pads the same way we do, and they strap up their helmets. And then it's a physical game, and the toughest team wins. Now, sometimes you play a team that's so much more talented that it makes it really hard. But you still have to play the game. And Washington, maybe they thought it was going to be easy. Maybe they didn't respect Montana. Montana did a great job.
My second question.
Yes.
You talked about the rivalry. I wanted to talk about even more from here, growing up in Phoenix and what it means to you personally and why you're so passionate about it.
I can't stand him. I mean, it's who I am. I really don't like him. I like Doug Martin. I respect everything he's done down there. I think he's done a phenomenal job coaching. I don't like his team. That's just who I am. I mean, I'm a Lobo. I am a Lobo through and through. I bleed cherry and silver. Even when I was in Phoenix, I bled cherry and silver. Even when I was at San Diego State and we had to come here and play them 3 times, I bled cherry and silver. It was miserable. We beat them all 3 times. Don't forget that. We did. But it was miserable after the game because I don't ever want anything bad to happen here. I want these guys to win every single game they play. I want every team in our athletic department to win every single game they play. And it bothers me when we don't. It hurts me. It hurts my feelings. When our volleyball team loses, which they're 6-0 and haven't lost a set, it hurts my feelings. When our soccer team lost to Oregon State last week, hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings for Heather, for her team. It's just, I love this place. It's who I am. And that place I don't really care for. So that's fine. What else? You go ahead, Henry.
Coach, did it hurt your feelings to see half the stadium pretty filled, half the stadium not?
Did not. Because I talked about it last week. Buy-in. Where does it come from? The people in this community have to understand that, and I understand, their hard-earned money for entertainment, they want a value for it. We'll give them a value. We're not going to win every single game yet, but we will. We'll give them a value so that when they buy a ticket to a Lobo football game, which is really easy, you can buy it digitally now. When they buy a ticket to a Lobo football game, they're going to expect to come and celebrate and win and have fun. Go in the tailgate, have fun with their buddies, come into the game, watch the football game, cheer on the Lobos. More of the cheers are going to be good than bad. When you expect that, when your fans expect that, that place is going to be 35,000 seats full. In 2005, we were picked to win the Mountain West Conference. We sold over 35,000 seats for every game. They came in expected to win. We didn't do a good enough job coaching because we didn't win the league. So it didn't hurt my feelings. I was really excited to see the 16,000 that showed up. And the 3,000 students that showed up, I thought it was awesome. Outstanding. That's just the beginning of what we want. And so was I disappointed that it wasn't bigger? I'll always just be disappointed if we don't have 45,000 in there. But that's because that's what I crave and want. But I was excited for the 16,000 and really appreciative. It was a Thursday night. It was a weekend before Labor Day. I'm convincing myself that had a little bit to do with it. We got a great opportunity to fill this place up Saturday because of the opponent we have, and we have a winning football team. We've won 3 in a row now. That's a winning streak. Watch the movie Major League. 3 in a row, it's a winning streak. What else?
Anything else for Lou Brown?
Exactly right.
You're not going to get a movie reference past me.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Sure.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Coach.